Thank you for clicking. In this video, I would like to discuss today nobody is watching the actual site other than those who actually work there. Based upon an article on Miami Herald, black female Miami cop who blew whistle after demotion claims. My name is Dr. Samurai. I'm hoping this video would help you deepen your understanding of underlying mechanics of social problems for you to attain true happiness on this planet Earth. As usual, I like to provide you some brief basic information in the first half, and then like to move on to our main discussions in the latter half. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. This topic: in today's bureaucracy, nobody is watching the actual site other than those who work there actually. Is based upon an article in Miami Herald Online. The title is Black Female Miami Cop Who Blew Whistle After Demotion Claims, Cited Captain Scolded Her. To put the story very simple, this black female Miami cop, she had a captain in direct command, and this captain ordered responding patrol vehicles to turn on their lights and sirens. This female black cop, whose name is Simmons, was the commanding officer at the scene, and she judged it was unnecessary, and she judged all that was needed was a few officers just to block off a street. However, her senior captain, Mr. Otis, demoted her because of that, saying she did not follow his order. And all the arguments could be listened to by other officers because it's done on a police radio wave. This is pretty much the basic information. And if you like this kind of serious social discussions, please click that green and yellow good luck charm logo. Anyway, what do you think about this? I think you, my friend, could be thinking similar cases happen or are happening around you too. It did to me when I read this article. There are many cases in which order comes from a person who hasn't even seen the real scene. I am not judging Mr. Otis is wrong and Ms. Simmons is right. You know why? Because I was not there actually watching the real scene. I always try to make it a rule that I not judge anything without actually seeing the scene and talk to those involved in the incident. But anyway, this kind of a thing happens all the time, right? Especially if you're working in a company or in any kind of bureaucracy or organization. Higher ranking persons always give orders which may not meet the needs of the real scene. I work for a university, right? And this is an episode that I heard from my friend who works for another university. That university was taken over by two people out of nowhere, because these two people were deeply connected to the previous chairman of the board, and one became both chairman of the board and the president of the university, and the other, I heard, became a vice president in preparation to be the president next year. They know nothing about the school. They came out of the blue from far away from where the university is. They do not know the level of the students, but they want to control. That's why that person took those two positions of chairman of the board and president of the university. You know, the chairman of the board means he deals with the money and also with the outside affairs. And the president deals with what's going on inside the universities. So it is like a Hitler who took both president positions and prime minister positions. You take those two positions, nobody can say no. You know why? Because they have the power to hire and fire you. And because everything happens within the universities, even if you sue them legally, you could still be fired, especially in Asian countries, I think. But anyway, I hear it is not that easy situation, according to my close friends, because the would-be president do things she want to do, whatever it may be, because she knows she is protected by the other gentleman who is a chair and the president, right? So according to her, my friend, everybody is frightened, everybody is with fear and walking on the toe, so to speak. That is actually not that good. Furthermore, that is a highly damaging situation. You know why? Because it is an academic institute where teachers were and that threat always goes on down to student. That's just simple dynamics or physics. I learned by analyzing the backgrounds of those who committed extremely violent crimes. If there's no action, there's no reaction. You see what I'm talking about? So, when this happens in the field of education, it is really bad and damaging to the society itself. And getting back to Mr. Ortiz and Ms. Simmons, I wonder, where did the order of Mr. Ortiz come from? This is my speculation, so this is not official analysis. But as is often the case, it probably came from the image he has in his mind. But very often, the image, even I, could be wrong in so many times. Because if I judge it without actually seeing the real scene, you see what I'm talking about? I would like to discuss in this video is why people in the higher power try to push through their decision based only on their limited images on their subordinates. Even at the school I was talking about, there would be president. All he is interested in is to become a president and to pass the admission at the board meetings. That's it. He has never taught at the university, I hear. So he does not know how low level that school's students are. I'm not criticizing that school, but that's the reality, and you have to make a plan based upon that reality, that the students' academic level is low. That does not mean their personalities are rotten or no possibility of growing. No. But you have to start from the scratch. You know, when I was in the process of learning English, I learned the most important lesson. What do you think it was? It was that you must start with your real ability, and then higher. It is called I+1, individual plus one step higher. That is why there are so many American citizens from foreign countries who have been living in the United States but don't speak a word of English. You know why? Because they came here at this level of 0. And what is going on and society is this high, and there's no contact between their level of command and what is going on in the real world. No touch, no connection. The same thing. This real connection, the grasping the reality is everything. In other words, the actual sight is everything. When you judge the direction. It's a famous police movie in which the main character shouts at the microphone to his captain, "Mister, everything is happening here at the actual site, not in your executive office." I just like to point out that those who are in charge of organization or the society, like a president, changes all the time when the time comes, right? And society is getting used to everything changing whenever the boss changes. But as a social pathologist, I would like to assert that the real boss always start watching the real scenes and examining what is really happening at the actual sites. And based upon that understanding of actual sites, actual spots, and real scene, he or she makes a plan. And this is not just a suggestion. Society must be that way. Good project must continue on even after boss changes, because it is beneficial to the organization or to the society. And that is the boss's first responsibility, first job, to tell what is working and what is not working. Based upon that, he or she makes plan and maybe can add his or her own taste a little bit. You know? Otherwise, it's eternal repetition of going forward and backward, forward and backward. That doesn't lead us nowhere. This is it. Thank you very much for listening. And I would like you to think about what I asserted today. Regardless of whether you are a person of high responsibility or a person who actually works at the real site, they gotta have mutual understanding and ties to come up with the real progress. Wherever you are, my friend, on this same precious planet Earth, at this miraculously same time.